the stage, please, so that you can start. Good morning, Sanbonani, Molweni, Abshe. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Can we start with our meeting? I hope that all the relevant stakeholders are here. This is the role for all the stakeholders. And can you come forward, please? Those who are sitting at the back, please come forward. And maybe before we start, can I ask those who want these gadgets or those who are holding these gadgets to tell you the channels? On channel 1, it's an English channel. Channel 4, it's Afrikaans. Channel 3, it's Sesotho. Channel 2 is isiZulu nesiXhosa. Channel 5 is Chivenda and Chichonga. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Okay. Can I start? Utengim. Am I interpreters? Okay, thank you. All right. Thank you. Can we move forward to the next item? The meeting has been declared opened, and the first item is the opening and welcoming. My name is Thokozile Makakula. I'm the acting chairperson today. On the apologies, we have the chairperson of the portfolio who's not well. He has been booked off, Ubabumdise, and also the other apologies from the MEC. I think Kaya will give us all the apologies. Over to you, Kaya, before we continue.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chairperson, and good morning to the House. And Chair, we do have apologies this morning. Honorable Member Mnisi is unable to attend. Honorable Member Mnisi is unable to attend due to family emergency. Honorable Hoffman is also unavailable to attend due to family emergency. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Kaya. Yeah. I think the next item on the program is that the item on the presentation by the GDID presentation on the Constitutional Court ruling on the PPPFA regulations of 2017 and preferential judgment on the Procedure Act in terms of the empowerment of SMMEs. Thank you. Over to the department. Okay. Before we are moving to the item, can I ask the members to introduce themselves, starting from Member Mnube.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Honorable Pinky Mnube. I'm a member of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Good morning, everyone. My name is Honorable Mukheti, and I'm a member of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Diakhe, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chair. I was trying to hide away.
Yeah.
I'm Member Diakhe. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, members. Maureen, can you also introduce yourself and the support staff which we're having here?
Good morning. Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Maureen Shabalala. I am a committee coordinator for the Infrastructure Development Committee.
Thank you. Thank you, members. I think our purpose for this meeting is to table the report. Is to table the report on the outcome of the PPPFA regulations of 2017. This is to make all the stakeholders to understand and have knowledge of what was the outcome of that of the court ruling on this act. So the department will do that, tabling us, giving us that report, and then thereafter we'll engage and have a submission from the stakeholders, and thereafter it will be a closure, end of the business of today. Thank you. Over to the department. I don't know who's going to table the report. Okay. No, please come forward. Come to the stage. Sifuna ukubona sonke. Oban.
May I speak? Thank you, Chair. Chairperson, thank you. My name is Khonsi Mabotsa from the Inner City Business Chamber. I see we've been given sheets here as forms of agenda. And you did the opening and welcome. Number 2 speaks to quarter report analysis. I see you jumped that and you went to constitutional court ruling.
All right. I think that we have 2 sessions. The session 1, which It was only for the portfolio committee. We're finished with session 1. We're on session 2 now, which deals with this outcome only. Thank you. Over to you, HOD.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson, all members of the Portfolio Committee. My name is Dr. Tulani Mtatane. I'm the head of department. The presentation chair would be dealt by the head of supply chain in the department. We have tried to look at all the aspects of the possible discussions. The presentation covers the issues of the national level, which is the Constitutional Court matters, and also the progress in that regard and what work is currently being done by Treasury around procurement in the country. And of course, then we indicate the progress and the inroads that we have done internally around the PPP strategy implementation. The head of supply chain, Mr. Koza, who is the chief director, will take the committee through. Thank you very much. Mr. Koza.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chairperson of the committee, committee members. Good morning to the HOD and DDGs and all stakeholders. As may be introduced by the HOD, my name is Mpumelelo Koza. I will be taking you through the presentation as requested by the Portfolio Committee. My apologies, technology got the better of me there. I think I'll start with the presentation. The purpose of this presentation, I'll start with the content, which deals with the purpose, policy matters and procurement bill, implication. Oh, thank you, Shari. It's not every day where your boss's boss actually assists you. I feel honored today. Number 2 would be policy matters and procurement bill, implication of Constitutional Court ruling on the PPPFA regulations, internal policy matters. We have a contractor development program, which is an internal section within the SCM. We'll talk to that as well. We'll deal with achievements, challenges and external factors, and recommendation. So I was requested to mix different languages. I'll try as best as I can, Chairperson, to actually mix the languages and so that everyone in the audience can actually understand. But I believe there are gadgets as well that assist, so it might not be necessary. But where I can, I'll just go to other languages. Thank you. So the purpose of this is of the report is to respond to the Portfolio Committee on the empowerment of SMMEs in the construction sector through the preferential procurement policy and implication of the Constitutional Court judgment. Then I will go to policy matters and the procurement bill. I'm not sure, Chairperson, if I should read through that or I can just summarize so that maybe we can then. Okay.
Yeah, I think it will be relevant that you read all so that the stakeholders can understand the background. Thank you.
Policy matters and procurement bill. The Preferential Procurement Policy Framework Act of 2000 gave rise to different regulation, which the current applicable regulation, the current applicable regulation is the Preferential Procurement Regulation 2017, with the following objectives: identification of preference point system, designated sectors, pre-qualification criteria, designated sector for local production and content, objective criteria, and subcontracting. These objectives are utilized to ensure that there is empowerment of SMMEs in government and enhancing the manufacturing capacity of South African owned and based entities. On Wednesday, 16 February 2022 at 10 o'clock, the Constitutional Court handed down judgment in the application for leave to appeal against the judgment and order of the Supreme Court of Appeal on the matter between the Minister of Finance versus Agribusiness NCP. The majority judgment comes to this conclusion by reading the words necessary or expedient with Section 2, subsection 1 of the Procurement Act, which provides that an organ of state must determine its preferential procurement policy. Since each organ of state is empowered to determine its own preferential procurement policy, it cannot also lie with the minister to make regulations that cover the same field. Ultimately, the majority judgment holds that it can neither be necessary nor expedient for the minister to make regulations that seeks to achieve that which can already be achieved in terms of section 2, subsection 1. On the 19th of February 2020, the National Treasury released the first draft of the procurement bill for public comment. On the 26th of October 2022, during the mid-term budget speech, the Minister of Finance indicated that that bill will have been considered and approved by Parliament in February 2023. So this is basically the background in terms of what has been happening on the regulatory areas. Then implication of the Constitutional Court ruling on the PPPFA regulation, which is the question that actually was asked by the Portfolio Committee and GDID needed to respond to. Then the response is that the implication of the Constitutional Court decision is that each organ of state has the powers to determine their own preferential procurement policy in line with Section 217 of the Constitution and Preferential Procurement Regulation 2017 were set aside until January 2023. However, National Treasury made a statement 30 May 2022 stated that the regulation is still valid for the remainder of the 12 months period, namely until 26 January 2023. This means that the 2017 regulation in its entirety is still valid. So basically, what we are currently still using in terms of preferential procurement, we are still using PPR 2017 based on the media statement that was issued by National Treasury in 30 May 2022. All tenders had been advertised in alignment with PPR 2017. You would notice that every tender that gets advertised by any organ of state currently, it still refers to 2017 because it's still valid. 30% mandatory subcontracting for project above 30 million is still applicable as it is part of the PPR 2017. Then I will go to internal policy matters. The department is in the process of reviewing all SEM policies to ensure that they assist the department to empower SMMEs in the construction sector. The construction subcontracting guidelines and provincial contractors development program are two policies that are developed to ensure that the development empower SMMEs in the construction sector. So we are busy with two documents, and these documents are an integral part of empowerment. One deals with subcontracting, which we have taken from the PPR 2017 to say that the department must find ways in which we're going to be dealing with issues of subcontracting. And also within that, we're going to be dealing with issues of maybe development of those SMMEs. We're not just going to say you have subcontracted and then we leave you there. But we will say we have subcontracted. What is it that we can do further as a department to make sure that you are empowered in all spheres of business? The department has developed a construction subcontracting guideline which has been consulted widely in the provincial governance structures and is ready to be presented to EXCO for approval. This particular document was actually consulted through the IGR processes. We dealt with it through the technical IGR, which the HOD is the chair of, and also it went through the political IGR, which the MEC is basically the chair. So the guidelines focus on the following: approach to subcontracting, the how part, how are we going to be doing the subcontracting, general guidelines to subcontracting, identifying subcontractors, how are we going to, we want to formalize the way that subcontractors are actually identified so that there can be objectivity and all the processes are fair and above board and are also in line with Section 217 of the Constitution, which talks to transparency and fairness. Feasibility of subcontracting, whether above or below 30 million. So what the regulation says that it is compulsory to subcontract above 30 million. However, the accounting officer has as an option, can also determine that some of the projects, even though they are not above 30 million, when they are below 30 million, then we can apply subcontracting through pre-qualification. So we can use Regulation 4 in terms of that particular subcontracting issue. Submission requirement for subcontracting. So also the guideline will assist, and we have already started as a department where we have projects. We do go to the communities and we talk to SMMEs, we empower them and we assist them on how to actually comply and all the documents that are required. And also where there's issues of compliance, where the people are not on CSD, we bring on board GPT to assist us and make sure that the SMMEs are assisted to be onboarded on CSD. And also the guidelines talk to the payment of subcontractors, and I'm sure most SMMEs are very passionate about that. So so in that particular document we do talk to how payment should be done and how should GDID assist. Subcontracting above 30 million, all active projects are monitored in terms of subcontracting. So we don't just say subcontract and we leave it at there. So we monitor on a monthly basis. We get reports from the main contractors and from the IPMs, SSAM, and then we consolidate. And those reports we report to Treasury on monthly basis. So the impact or the risk of not doing that, what it basically means and does is that if it happens by the end of the contract, the 30% subcontracting is not reached, then that particular project or that particular tender it's rendered irregular because we did not comply with one part of the conditions. So I'll just give the numbers now. Total SMMEs empowered per branch. So in DID, we call the different sections branches. You have corporate services, which is a branch. You have infrastructure, which is divided into 2 branches, education and stars and health. So the education projects, we have appointed on that particular branch 177 SMMEs. And stars project, we have appointed 49, and health project, we have appointed 56. So now I'm going to deal with the contractor development policy, which is the next slide. The contractor development program is a bold initiative of the Department of Infrastructure Development aimed at transforming the construction industry by developing a new pool of contracting capability and enhancing the capacity and capability of the existing contractors from grade 1 to grade 6 within the general building, civil engineering, specialized categories in accordance with the construction industry requirement. So what the department has done is that we don't want everybody to be a general building construction company. So why don't you also tap into the specialized areas, mechanical and all other areas that are specialized? So we are not limiting empowerment to just general building. So we are then saying venture into the other areas, and we will then assist through the contractor development section. The pillars of the policy includes the following: mentoring support, training and skills development, access to funding, subcontractors, payment of contractors, and access to economic opportunities. You will notice that we deal with issues of payment on every document, because we understand that there are issues of payment. If a business has a cash flow problem, which is caused by us, that business can close. Hence the emphasis on payment on all the documents, to make sure that SMMEs are empowered through payments, and we need to pay them on time. So we are cognizant of that fact. Then I'm continuing with the contractor development program. Contractor development program is a program the department is doing in partnership with the National Department of Public Works. CIP is based on the following pillars. So currently we have a CIP program that we are trying to finalize, which we were doing with National Public Works. And on that program, we are left with a few candidates, or with a few companies that we will exit, maybe if possible and if all goes well, by the end of this month. CIP is based on the following pillars: access to procurement opportunities, mentorship and technical support services, training and skills development, access to funding, subcontracting, payment to contractors, construction plans, and equipment hire. 20 CIP contractors are in the program. 11 contractors have reached the threshold, 4.5 million, and have exited the program. And we can say some of these particular companies, some of them now are able to tender on their own. They are basically in the 7th and 8th CIDP grading. But they started on the program that was done by DID in conjunction or together with National Public Works. 9 have not reached the threshold of 4.5 million, and they are still in the allocated project as reflected in the table below. As I have indicated that we are busy trying to exit whoever is left, and we are allocating project on that one. And then I will talk to the BE strategy. The department has different panels which are used to ensure that panels which are used to ensure that we empower SMMEs in the construction sectors, which are panel for material supply, panel of professional services providers, PSPs, and panel of maintenance contractors. So all these allocations that I've read previously, those comes from those panels, because we are able to target the groups that we need to target, and we are able to target SMMEs through those panels. The department uses this panel to transform the construction sector and ensure participation of SMMEs across the province. And I'm going to talk to the passion. The department developed internal standard operation procedure, SOPs, to ensure that we meet the target of paying service providers within 15 days on our own vote. So this is our passion. This is driven by the HOD and all the executives. We are making sure that on our own vote, our vote means that where the GDID has budget and is controlling the budget, we are making sure that all SMMEs and service providers are paid within the stipulated times of 15 to 30 days. In August 2022, the department reached a target of 100%, and in September, 99%. The department intends to breach and maintain 100% payment in the coming months. So that is what the department is striving to make sure that the 100% that we've met, we don't drop the ball. We continue and make sure that we pay service provider on time. I must again emphasize, this is within the GDID vote, not where we're dependent on our client department, which is health and education. But within our vote, this is our achievement, and this is what we're doing well. Service providers appointed to do work at health facilities are experiencing serious delay in payments for work done due to non-transfer of funds by the Department of Health. So that is a challenge, but it's the department's challenge, and we are dealing with health, or we are communicating with health from time to time to make sure that payments are actually processed on time. I'll go to achievements. Appointment made to SMMEs in the construction sector. Then I will deal with 2021-2022. Quarter one, we've appointed 223 service providers to the tune of 586,736,922.9. And then on quarter two, it was 218, and to the tune of 883,078,946. This is in millions, not thousands. So it's 586 million and 883 million. And then on quarter three, it's 177,229,940,543. On quarter four is 100,227,465,608. So coming to 2022-2023, quarter one, we have appointed 112, and the value is 126,759,897. On quarter two, we have picked up, we've appointed 159, and the rent value is 234,676,380.1. So the next slide it's a graphical depiction of basically what I've just explained in numbers on the other side. I will skip that slide. And challenges and mitigations. So on the challenges, service providers in the maintenance panel not having enough companies who are from designated group. So according to PPR 2017, we have what we call designated group or targeted groups. The targeted groups are people with disabilities, women, youth, people from previously disadvantaged townships, and amongst others. The department will augment. So what we're saying is that we don't have enough people on the panel, but then in mitigating that, because the panel is where we have control, where we can then appoint SMMEs, where we can appoint the targeted groups. But we then say that the department will augment the panel and will advertise the new panel focusing on designated groups on the 7th of December 2022. So this date might be brought forward based on the meeting that we had this morning with the HOD. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to capture as much as we can a lot of the targeted groups and the SMMEs, so that we are able then to give work through the panels. The reason why we focus a lot on the panels, because on the open tender, we do not have much control, because it's open tender. Everyone is free to bid, and eventually you'll find that the person that is appointed is not amongst the targeted groups. But then there, what we do then, we make sure that on the subcontracting, the targeted groups and the SMMEs are catered for. The other big challenge that we have is that contractors in the panel, at times when we want to appoint them, they are not tax compliant. So we then have to skip them and go to the next person. But what we then do, we send reminders to the contractors monthly to advise them to comply with SARS and CITB. And also what we do to some of you on the panel, who maybe at times we were appointed and you were not compliant, you did get a call from the department to say, we tried to appoint you, but you are not compliant. Can you please fix your tax status so that we are able to appoint you on the next round? Those are the efforts that we are trying to make sure that you basically are eventually appointed on the panel. Then the other challenge that we have is community stopping projects due to their preferred local subcontractors and non-payment by main contractors. The department is developing the subcontracting guideline, which will guide how subcontracting should be implemented and actions to be taken when main contractors is not paying subcontractors on time. So that's also some of the efforts that we're making sure that we assist subcontractors on the project. But also communities, then the biggest problem is communities stopping the project because they want their preferred people. So maybe to explain that and to maybe expand on that. In the communities, the biggest challenge is that you will go and have a meeting through the council, you request, and people come to the meeting, you address them. And as the department, we are, through our stakeholder, we are sure that these are the SMMEs from the community. But when the project starts, business forums start mushrooming. You didn't talk to us, you talked to the wrong people. And then as a department, we find ourselves wanting to say, but we are here, we are trying to assist the community, but the community is not coming on board to assist us to make sure that all these processes are smooth. And then it ends up on this. But on the subcontracting guidelines, we're trying our best to make sure that all issues are addressed and this does not happen. Lack of bridging finance. Gauteng Enterprise Propeller is currently assisting the contractors with bridging finance. This even happens on the contractors that are on the maintenance panel, where you appoint a contractor and you find that they don't have work to do, they don't have money to do the work. Through our contractor development, then we then intervene and then assist through the enterprise propeller. Lack of projects for contractors. Facility management and maintenance are currently identifying and assisting with projects for the outstanding contractors. So this talks to especially for the CIP, where we didn't have project to complete. But now, because we are identifying these projects, we will be able then to complete the project and exit them on the program. Recommendations. The department submit this report to the portfolio committee to note and advise on how to ensure that the department continues to empower SMMEs in the construction sector. And the last words for me is that Kia lebucha, ngiyabonga, danki. I was going to try vendor, but ibalekile for now. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mpumelelo, for the clear presentation. Can I allow members to interact with the report? Any member? Member Mkhithi?
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and let me welcome the presentation from the Chief Director. I'm sorry, I might end up infecting you. You must look the other side when I speak because I took my mask off. Chair, I hear what the department is saying, especially on the slide, it's what, page 22, or is this slide 22? Where the department is saying their challenge is that service providers in the maintenance panel not having enough companies who from the designated groups. As we interact, Chief Director, with the communities are complaining that they are in the panel. They comply, but it looks like the department is only considering certain people over others. And it really creates a problem, because if a person can be on a panel having a letter of appointment, it means that person would have complied with your tax clearances and everything. But now to have that letter for 3 years, and then after 3 years, the tender, the panel is re-advertised, you apply, you comply, you get a letter. Ultimately, people are getting tired, Chief Director, to say, we apply, but we are not being considered. I wanted to check with you. I can understand you say some of them don't have the financial muscle to be able to carry the project through. When you appoint, you don't check whether the person has a financial muscle, so that they can, even if they can be given any tender, they will be able to finish the project on time and also within the budget. So I wanted to check whether are you not using the rotation system, where it also needs to be transparent, so that you can, when you have given somebody, you don't give the same person every time. Is it a possibility that maybe you can look into that, so that at least people can be encouraged to apply? Because most of the people will tell you that there's no point. I'd been having an appointment letter for 3 years or so, but I was never even considered even once. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Member Tshaka.
Thank you, Chair. My question really is not covered in this report, but something that I would like for us to take into consideration, and that is how we can assist, or how the department can assist SMMEs with the completing of forms during tender processes. Sorry, what's the problem? Oh. Okay, yeah. Are you right? Yeah, the acoustics up here is not very good. We can't hear each other. The question that I'm asking is that from the department side, that we should, when we open for tender processes, that we bring in the prospective people who would want to SMMEs, and to assist them in training on how to complete these documents. Very often businesses will be excluded for omitting something, not filling something in 100%, and it is quite a strict process. So first of all, we need to make sure that we, for lack of a better word, educate those people that want to apply or to put in tenders, but then that we also do ongoing training with SMMEs to ensure that they know what is expected of them, to make sure that they have their financial statements, etc., in order. Now, I know that the department is not supposed to be holding the hand of private companies, but if we are serious in upskilling and also in giving business to SMMEs, then we have to maybe go the extra mile. I think we also need to, as a department, be more clear exactly what it means about the 30% allocated to business. Is it 30% from business in the department, or is it on every single project? And the reason for that is, in some cases, now in EISD it is not necessarily the case, but for instance, when you look at projects on a substation or a water tower, it is highly skilled, very professionalized environment with very specific engineering skills that is required, something that is not always there with the SMME, and in such a case, 30% of the project value cannot be allocated. So I think we need clarity in how the 30% can be applied or should be applied, and then that we have to continuously assist our SMMEs in the province in how to do the applications correctly. Thank you.
Thank you, Member. And Member Mncube.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Mine is that where there are challenges, there are mitigations. So how soon would you complete your mitigations? Because it's November now. Come next year, for instance, projects are still being stopped as we speak. And assisting the service providers with those things that they're still missing. So what is your timeline instead in terms of, so the department will augment, department will develop. So when are you completing that so that it does help them come the next financial year?
Thank you, Member Mncube. I think lastly, Mpumelelo, if you can also clarify the issue of the SMMEs who have subcontract from the main contractors, and how do you cover them in terms of being abused by the main contractor? Because we don't see it here, so it means they're not covered. And some of those main contractors are given more work from the department while they're still having outstanding issues, especially in terms of incomplete work, which we've given them, but you continue giving them other